Here are 10 of the craziest changes coming to Apex, and a lot of them are a lot closer than you think. Number 1, this should be no surprise, but it's the new legend Alter. Now, her abilities have been known for quite some time and even leaked a couple of months ago. And of course, things could always change, but it's more than likely that these are going to be very accurate. And the reasons, well, we'll explain in just a second. First off, her passive, where she could gift from the Rift. And basically, this says you can remotely interact with the death box to claim one item, but it cannot be armor. Also, the tactical can be a void passage, where it creates a portal passageway through a surface. That's going to be a big one. And then finally, the ultimate ability was called Void Nexus, where it creates a regroup point that all allies can remotely interact with to open a phase tunnel back to that location. So honestly, more like a Wraith portal on steroids. And to be honest, the tactical sounds even better to me. Now, of course, there's a lot of reasons we think this is very accurate, but one of those is probably coming from the early playtest information and video that we saw coming from that Game Informer article that they had just a couple of months ago. And if you actually take a look at it, you'll see that Alter was in the gameplay. You can see Alter, and one of the icons that you would see on the kill feed was that you were spotted through the void. So we know that her abilities are going to be very related to these, so I don't see why these would not be accurate, but very interested to see how these come about. Also, we know a little bit based on recent leaks about her legendary skins. You could see some animations in the lobby that she has, and also some of these skins look pretty good, I gotta say. Being that Alter is going to be a skirmisher legend, I definitely predict her being one of the more fun legends that we've had in quite some time, and that's why I'm pretty excited. Also, we should be looking for a brand new map. Now, this one is going to be coming a little bit later than what you probably had hoped. A lot of people wanted it to be season 21. Unfortunately, it looks more like season 22, but we can definitely still get pretty excited about the new map District coming pretty soon. From all of these POI screenshots that we saw from Oz's Twitter just a couple of days ago to the bird's eye view of this map, I think one thing that we all agree on is that this map is aesthetically pleasing, with a lot of pink, a lot of purples, a lot of blues, and a lot of neon lights. And I honestly am very excited about this one, and I just hope that it plays well in ranked, because we can always say that maps look pretty, but honestly, if they don't convert to being a good map to play on, it just isn't worth it in the end. Now, here's where things get a little spicy. We've also seen a new UI icon for Akimbo weapons. That's right, Akimbo P2020 was something that Oz had actually put on his Twitter just a couple of days ago. Now, this has been something that's been widely known throughout the R5 Reloaded community, and we've liked to do this just for fun, but I never really thought it was going to be coming until we saw the new UI icon that makes it seem like Akimbo Pistols could be something in the near future. Number 4, and honestly, one of my favorite parts of this video is Arenas mode returning. Now, of course, a lot of people have an opinion on Arenas mode and why it was removed in the first place. To be honest with you, I feel like it was just way ahead of its time, and it really was missing a lot of crucial things that this game mode needed. For instance, I've always thought that it needed objective, but we don't actually have to copy Counter-Strike or Valorant by doing a bomb planting situation. It could be a ball, it could be a goal, it could be capture the flag, who knows, but there definitely needs to be some sort of object that goes into the game mode, because if there's just nothing to do, it gets dry after a while. Also, it was cool to have a ranked mode, but I would really like to see more tournaments and brackets, especially in game with what they're doing with Rumble now. There's a lot to do here, and if you're wondering why we're saying Arenas is coming back, well, you did have one of the developers not long ago actually answer a question to say that yes, it was potentially coming back in the next 12 to 24 months. It's definitely, though, it is definitely something on our roadmap, so it's good to hear those words. They also said, I don't think we fully understood what we were doing in terms of this game mode and audience. Honestly, we have been building something that is more unified and brings players together to play the entirety of the game, not just like I'm an Arenas main or I'm a BR main. And I totally get that logic, but honestly, I think if you're finding a way to merge the player base even further, similar to how you did with Rumble mode by enforcing crossplay to be turned on, I think this probably won't be a problem to begin with. Now, we also got a lot of information a couple of days ago on the Apex Uncovered Reddit thread that showed a lot of leaks that a lot of YouTubers have been covering. So here's number 5. No Heirloom Recolor in season 21, but instead a white and purple guitar coming in season 21. Of course, this should be no surprise. Apex has made a big update in the last couple of months to get away from heirlooms and go more on these universal heirlooms. And honestly, I think the reason is because they want more people to be able to buy and not say, I'm a crypto main, therefore I don't want to buy the Newcastle heirloom. Instead, let's get a universal heirloom that all the legends can use. Therefore, everybody will bring out their pocketbook and their wallets and spend a good dollar. Matter of fact, a very pretty dollar, because these seem to be a little bit more expensive, and this seems to be the direction that they're taking the game entirely. But there are a lot of wacky things that they're also expecting to come into Apex in a future update, and this one is with the new map, with a hollow loot dragon inside of the map District. Now, of course, having, PvE that you fight in order to get loot inside of the game is nothing new. We've had prowlers, we've had flyers, we've had many other things inside of the game in order to get loot from. But having a hollow loot dragon, this kind of feels something along the lines of League of Legends and some big boss that you really got to, fight together. And it's going to be a big part of the game, I would hope. Like you would have League of Legends, where you fight Baron, you fight Dragon, and you really have to make a good strategy in order to do so. And so if this is something that's going to be that big and that worth it, I'm excited to see how this turns out. But I do want to make sure that we keep the emphasis on player versus player combat and not having to really worry too much about PvE, especially in a battle royale. Number 7, I told you guys that these things were starting to get wacky with these leaks, but they're also predicting a new type of Trident coming to District. Now, of course, we've had the similar Tridents that we've had on Olympus and Storm Point as well. And of course, I've actually heard that when they first made the Trident, it went through many mock-up versions, and the Trident that you have today was most certainly not the Trident that they started the game out with. So very interested to see why they're going to be changing the Trident for the new map and what they're going to come up with as well. Number 8, I'm actually pretty bummed out and excited. It just depends. I am an OG, so of course I normally get a little upset about this, but Kings Canyon is not getting any more major updates, or any at all, so says these leaks. They're really focusing on these new maps, and so to kind of combat with that, an Olympus map update is coming after District. And honestly, just to throw it all in there, a Broken Moon map update is coming next season. So number 7 is definitely a crazy change, because it's a lot of map updates going into one. But you do see that Olympus crashing into Broken Moon. Obviously, we saw the leaked gameplay footage coming out of this new map update as well, where these guys were actually playtesting, and it looks like there was some sort of a rift on Broken Moon, which is an Olympus feature. So with these things clashing together, I'm very interested to see what exactly is going to happen. But that's a big one. No Kings Canyon map updates anymore, or at least major ones. Olympus getting a map update coming after District, and of course the Broken Moon coming in next season, and then of course District in season 22. A lot is going to be happening in all of that. Number 8, this one is a little wild. Bloodhound lava themed axe is still coming. Very excited for this one. Obviously, I think they have a lot of good OG heirlooms, Wraith probably being one, Octane being one, Bloodhound being one, maybe a couple others, but I think those are probably the best in my opinion. I think the Revenant deserves to be up there as well, but I really like whenever they try to do more reactive colors, reactive skins, or animated skins, and I'm really excited about what they can do with a very good OG heirloom like this. I just hope that the game still is trying to get better and not just selling skins without anything to show for it as well. Also, got to mention this one at number 9. 3 guns currently in the work at the moment. That is the Fanatic, the Scorpion crossbow, and the Maelstrom LMG. We've seen a lot of footage of these in the last couple of years, I would say, at this point. But the problem is Respawn has made it clear that they don't want to oversaturate the loot pool with all of these brand new guns. So you'll actually go into the game files and see a lot and hear a lot of guns that are already being, tested, I guess you would say, or the game files for the audio exists. You see a lot of these characters saying these guns, and like the Cold War, and none of those guns are necessarily coming quite yet, but they were prepared in order to bring them. And so it's just going to be a matter of time of when you actually start to see these guns. But of course, we know that there are a lot in the making. Number 10, this one's pretty interesting, but there is a new event called Void Swap, where these legends inside of the game are actually going to be cosplaying as one another. Going to be very interesting to see Rampart try to dress up as Octane or something, and these legends swapping identities is going to be a weird one for sure. And I wonder if this is going to be any way where you can actually make teams and players buy heirlooms so that they can actually own an heirloom for a legend that it's not for. Like if you have Crypto cosplaying as Pathfinder or something, maybe their plan would be to have Crypto being able to use the Pathfinder heirloom. Therefore, you can just buy the heirloom that you want and don't worry about it. All the heirlooms become universal heirlooms. So get your wallets out and start paying. Interested to see which one you guys are most excited for down in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to stay up to date with all things inside the Apex Legends news world. Later, Gators.